Master Grade Gundam Virtue. Who is waiting for that? I see a lot of comments saying, oh, Gundam Virtue, question mark, a bunch of them. Everybody's asking for Gundam Virtue. Thought it's gonna be over $100, which would be 10,000 yen, but it's actually lower than that. I'm glad that it stayed at around 8,800 yen, which is, without tax, would be 8,000 yen, $80. If you're trying to get it in the US, you should probably expect it to be around like 90, maybe even 100 with shipping at some places. Virtue is not gonna be most popular Master Grade, and if it gets over 100, it's pretty pricey. After all, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Gundam 00 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you're getting 2-in-1, so you're getting 2 mobile suits from this kit. Of course, there's a Natalie inside of those heavy armors. So let's take a look. Looking at the initial images of just the Virtue. In comparison, I think the no scale 100 scale Virtue is actually done quite well. They haven't really updated the proportions too much based on what I can see. They did add panel lines to it and details. I don't think that's a huge update on the proportions. It might be more fun if they could have just made something a little bit larger. For example, the shoulder cannon. That might have been kind of fun to see. Perhaps tweak the proportion a little bit more. But then again, the original designer of Virtue is updating the old design to the 100 scale. So usually when that happens, you're not gonna see a huge modifications. Typically when you see a different designers redesigning something else, they would add a lot more crazy stuff to it. That's just how designers work. If it's their own stuff, they're not gonna fix what's not broken. Then when you have someone else coming in redesigning something, they're gonna try to quote unquote fix it, or at least make it sort of their own, because that's human nature. That goes across the design field usually. Virtue, you're not seeing a huge difference from the old non-grade. But then I would expect this is done way better, just better engineering. I think you're not gonna be able to see that on the surface, but we will see it when you build it. What the improvements you're seeing are actually in Natalie, which is on the inside. When I first saw the announcement of release of Master Grade, the first thing I thought was, how are they gonna deal with the hair? The quote-unquote hair in Natalie. It doesn't look like they decided to go with individual strands of hair, but instead it's sort of very detailedly modeled. I would guess that it's probably a soft material. Little details of plugs at the ends of the hair as well, way better in my opinion. And another thing that's added to Natalie, which didn't exist in non-scale, are the shield and the rifle. And in the 100 scale, they never had the shield and rifle. Those were not available, but this time around, they actually had the shield and the rifle, which is great. So now you're actually getting a complete Natalie. I think that's because when the original 100 scale Natalie came out, in the anime, they haven't shown the shield and rifle, and that's why it's not part of the model kit. And what's great about this update, like in all the other Gundam 00s, are these hologram soft material, which are really nice. Better than what they had when 00 first came out. They used soft rubber silicone material. It was really nice when it first came out, but good to see improvement. This is a better material. The armors are actually double-sided now, so there's an inside of the armors, which adds thickness and detail, just makes it look way better. Would probably make the whole kit weigh a lot more than before. I think one thing that's good about this Virtue is that it'll be pretty heavy. It'll just make it feel more luxurious. So by adding those thickness to the armors, I think a lot more play value. Things will be more rigid. It's just more fun. Things will be more sturdy when you try to take it apart. You can see very clearly here everything on the back side. They're very proud to show those additional details on the inside. Yeah, those are really good looking. It never existed before, so they had to redesign all these panels. It's not easy, and it looks great. All the panels are double layered. Even on the inside of the backpack, the cannons. That's a lot of details. Moving on to the weapons, the GN bazooka is the famous weapon. It has a bit of transformation mechanism for the GN bazooka, which is, of course, is still there. I assume that the build quality is a lot better. And of course, on the inside, when you open the GN field, it's yellow and it's not sticker anymore. Just like all the other Gundam 00 Master Grades, you have the GN drive. And this time it comes with 2 versions. And this one's a different version. And here are all the weapons. So for Natalie, in addition to the shield and the rifles, now you get the beam attachment to the front of the rifle, which was only in the old HG. When you buy the Natalie and the OHG separately, you get the beam rifle and the shield. Now we're actually getting a more complete Natalie in Master Grade. And of course, the GN cannon can be equipped by Natalie here. Just look at how detailed the hair is. Look at the ends. Look at that. It's just such a small detail, but it makes it look so much better. And this is a famous pose by Natalie with the GN rifle and the shield. And of course, the details of GN beam saber being hidden in the front knee armor. Here we see the details of Natalie. They molded cords in 2 layers to kind of give it a layer look. It just makes the strand look separate even though it's a single piece. It's wonderful. It's a nice technique to not having to actually mold each individual strand of hair. It's gonna be a pain to pose and it's gonna be a pain to make. I think this is a really good kit. It's gonna be a solid kit. A lot of improvements were made. It's not priced ridiculously high, which makes sense. I think it's gonna be heavy and it's gonna feel really nice to build. The armors, the added layers, the added thickness to the armors. You know what I want to see? I want to see stands that holds the purge armor. I want to see an effect part for the purge armor. I think that would be an amazing display. And I think that's what's missing. It would be amazing to display Virtue mid-transition when the armor purged. I was really mind blown when I saw that reveal. Now that we've taken care of the main original season 1 main protagonist, maybe we'll move forward to season 2 main protagonist. I really look forward to Sarah V. I would love to see a master grade version of Sarah V. The original version, the non-scale version, was actually made really well. It would be really impressive to see. Let us know what you think and if you're gonna order it, and I'll see you guys next time.